I've been eating this like almost every day. Let me fill you guys in. Thought I'd give you a little life update. A lot of things have been happening in the last few months. If you're new here, my name is Gino Silvestri. I'm a dental student. Well, as of last month, I was a dental student, but I'm here to announce that I am officially a dentist. It's crazy how fast the last 4 years went. I think what made it fast was also just going through COVID and basically missing out a year and a half of school. Do you guys remember where you were when they announced that school was gonna be closed for 2 weeks? I wanna say it was around the time I was studying for my anatomy final. D1 year, and long story short, we all passed the class. It was great to celebrate such a monumental achievement in my academic career. I graduated on May 28th. It was during the Memorial Day weekend, so we had something every day. You know, I think it was pretty nice because graduation commencements are usually one day, and I feel like we're kind of in a rush of all the emotions and all the festivities. During the 3 days, I got pictures with a lot of friends, family members, and faculty, and I feel like this was a good closure to my 4 years of dental school. I think I was pretty satisfied by the end of the weekend. I was pretty stoked to move on with my life. You know, so my mentality is kind of like, you know, we get the celebrations done and we gotta move on to the next thing. That kind of sounded a little harsh, but you know, we had to move out by the end of the month. Like, we had so much stuff to pack. We actually started packing mid-April, and by the end of it, I was just like losing my mind. Like, everything was just laid out on the floor, like in the living room, in the hallways, like boxes stacking against the walls. And I think I'm like low-key claustrophobic because I was just getting anxious. Like, I needed to get out of this place. If you have kids, you could probably relate, but the hardest area to clean is the kids' room. The playroom, my goodness. Plush animals, Barbie dolls, these large Disney castles. Like, how the heck are we supposed to clean out all these? And I think if you're a parent, you're pretty much guilty of all of this, but there comes a time where you notice that your kids are kind of phasing out of their previous obsessions and they're kind of moving on to something new. My daughter was really into Cocomelon and Peppa Pig, especially when she was like 2 and 3. But within the last few months, she's been really into Blippi and Bluey. You kind of realize that she's not playing with her old toys anymore. Hey, maybe she won't even notice if we, you know, pack a few of her toys in the donations box. Okay, like, we're not that mean, but I know your parents have done this before. Like, don't lie to me if you say that you haven't. But our oldest is kind of at the age where she can start to understand and have little discussions, and so we ended up negotiating a lot of her big stuff, so most of the time she won. You know, we ordered the pod, we stuffed everything in, and finally it was on its way. You know, we moved out of the house, but we had to stay within the area for about another week because our daughter was finishing up her school and she was actually graduating from pre-K at the end of that week. You know, 2 graduation ceremonies in 1 year. Now, I'm really happy. My wife's also kind of tearing up, but overall it's a little bittersweet. You know, the 4 years I've been going to dental school, my daughter has also grown up 4 years. You know, hindsight is 2020. I wish I could have spent more time with her. As ironic as that sounds, since we were pretty much locked down and nowhere to go during COVID, but you know, you always want to spend as much as you can with your kids. You know, it's crazy because when I first started dental school, my daughter was just barely getting her first few sentences in. And now, you know, I just realized how much she's grown. It kind of reminds me of this TikTok right here. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty real. Oh my gosh. And it's only preschool too. Now, finally, for the big update. You guys are probably wondering, what's my plan after dental school? Where are you working? Are you guys moving out? And you know, maybe some of you guys caught it just now. Torchy's Tacos. I don't know if it's available in California. It is mostly in that Midwestern states. So you can kind of guess where I'm at right now. My family and I will be moving to the Lone Star State of Texas. Surprise, surprise, really. I mean, I feel like a lot of people are moving there right now, and it's very dentist friendly too. So I've been kind of spending the week here trying to get my loose ends tied with some of my employers. I currently have 1 part-time work that I've committed to, and I'm currently looking for another work opportunity that can fill up the rest of the week. Just want to work that full 5-day shift, ideally not working on the weekend so I can spend time with my family. By the time I upload this video, I should be pretty much set on where I'm working. So it's been going really well. Met some really cool people. If you guys follow Knee Dental, Dr. Ben Kim, we actually linked up back in LA about a month ago. We met in Little Tokyo, had some sushi, got some drinks, and we just hung out. And now I'm in his turf, and he was able to show me his office and got to shadow him a little bit too. Obviously, I know his practice for what it is now, but to actually hear the backstory of how he pushed through some of the challenges to build his practice. I think that's an area where dental students and even dentists right now practicing would be really interested to know. So I gotta have him on an interview one day. Anyways, I gotta make a quick phone call, so enjoy me walking downstairs. You mentioned some of the first years don't see the quality of the optics, and then it just went blank from there. Body language of getting that eye contact, and yeah, that was a dental loops company. Anyways, the decision to move out to Texas hasn't been an easy one. There were so many factors that were involved, which kind of pushed me to really weigh out the odds. And ultimately, I chose Texas because I feel like it is filled with a lot of opportunities, and we've been seeing a lot of growth here. As a father of 2 kids coming out of, nearly $500,000 in debt, my primary goal is to provide for my family. Really, my job is to be the person that brings in the finances. Looking back at my childhood, my parents really did a lot to put my brother and I's, lives first. And that's by allowing us the opportunity to have the freedom of choice. Kids especially should experience everything they can while they're growing up. So growing up, I did tennis, swimming, ukulele, piano. I had a lot of activities growing up. And then one day my mom told me that I'm no longer gonna be attending swimming lessons. And that broke my heart because I just love swimming, like just jumping into that cold water on a nice hot summer day. Eventually I stopped going to tennis, I stopped playing the piano, and all these activities were being taken away from me. And I didn't know why at the time. Even though my dad worked so hard, it was just the time of the economy that really didn't allow him to make as much. And he never told us his financial struggles, and it was his way to really kind of protect us from just the realities of life. Now that I'm older, my dad has told me those were some of the hardest years of his life. It was not really the financial part, but it was really taking away all these activities from me and my brother. And I think as a man of the house, I just kind of tend to take it more logistically with finances, whereas my wife really cares about the relationship and the family bonds. Her family is all based in California. She's gonna be the one moving out, and I feel like I'm the one that's pulling her out of her safe space. And sometimes you have to make those hard, heartbreaking conversations. I'm not saying I'm perfect and I communicate things effectively with my wife. With the mistakes that I made in some of the conversations that I had with her, I'm hoping that the time can eventually heal the brokenness, and really I can only rely on God to do that. It's like as a man too, you feel like you need to fix every problem, find a solution to everything that your wife is, concerned about. Sometimes the best thing you do is just humble yourself, stay quiet, and really just trust the process. I'm just glad that God's been so gracious in finding some of these opportunities out here and has allowed me to meet the right people in the process. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. I'll keep you updated with what's to come. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe and follow me on my social media pages, and we'll see you next time. Peace.